All right, here we go. Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm here to tell some stories. I'm here to tell some stories about me and my best friend, Tara. So, Tara and I met 7 years ago, over 7 years ago. And she actually read an article a year or two back that said, if your friendship lasts 7 years, then it's meant to last for life. I agree. I agree. And when Tara and I met, we hit it off. We became great friends, and she became my ride or die. She became my call in the middle of the night. My doesn't ask questions, shows up with a shovel if needed, comes into the house and yells at my kids if there's a mess. Best friend, like the person that you can rely on for anything, and they're gonna send you crazy memes at 2 a.m. that are appropriate, that are completely accurate, that apply to the both of you. That you don't talk all the way in the car, and as soon as you get home, you hop on the phone and you're talking about some crazy thing that you remembered or whatever it is. And we would get into semantics. So for years, I had these notes in my phone that I was like, okay, someday we're going to tell these stories. And I think now it's time to tell those stories. Well, when Tara and I met, I'm visually impaired and she's hearing impaired. So we were always causing some sort of crazy chaos everywhere we went. In fact, we have places that we go to that if one or the other does not go, they're like, excuse me, where's your other half? Like, this isn't, I'm not even sure they even know which one is Sarah and which one's Tara. They just know that we come together as a package deal. And I love it. I love going places and they're like, oh, Sarah, Tara here. Like when you can call the nail salon and they answer the phone, they're like, hi, Sarah, what time do you want to come in? Or a couple of times that I called and they're like, sorry, we're booked, because they didn't realize who it was. Like when you can get to a point where you can call a place and they're like, hey, we got you. You just tell us when you want to be here. Like that's, I don't know if that's good or that's bad, but we really appreciate it. Anyway, so I'm telling these stories because I think it's time, and I hope they make my friends smile. Because unfortunately, my dear, wonderful, amazing, beautiful, awesome best friend was diagnosed with ALS back in March. So, as we sat around and reminisced and talked about, the good old days, and we talked about stories like, okay, it's time. It's just time to start sharing these stories. And I have one. I'm going to have one. And I have lots of them, actually. So, the video is not perfect. I'm lucky if it's not crooked, actually. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not professional. Oh, I just kicked the ironing board that this phone is sitting on. Awesome. Whatever. I was having a really hard time deciding what I was going to name this channel. Like nothing was just doing it for me. We've joked about all sorts of different things over the years. And I finally settled on Two Friends in Tiaras. And here's that story. So back in 2018, it was a friend of mine's birthday and she didn't have any plans. So I got a hold of her husband and I was like, hey, can you drop her at this location at this time? And he's like, yep, absolutely. So Tara and I go into town, which by going into town, it's a 15-minute drive from our town to the next. So we go to the mall and we go to Claire's. Now, I haven't been to a Claire's since junior high. Actually, I can't even tell you at that point if I had ever stepped foot into a Claire's. But I wanted one of those birthday tiaras and sashes, you know what I'm talking about? And we went in and super nice sales gal. She's like, what are you looking for? So she takes us right to it, helps us find it. I'm like, okay, this is great. We pick out the two things we want. She goes, everything is buy 3, get 3 free. She goes, so you could all have tiaras. And we went, well, I think we can. So we, no joke, bought the birthday tiara and sash, a couple more tiaras. Who knows what else we got, but we took advantage of this deal, right? Because, girl math. So we went with tiaras, and Tara and I decide that we're going to wear them all day, actually. Not just at our friend's birthday outing, all day. And we go to brunch at this little cafe that we love. And as we're sitting there, this man at the table next to us leans over and says, excuse me, do you mind if my daughter asks you a question? And Tara's like, yeah, absolutely. And the cutest, most adorable, precious little 3-year-old girl looks at us and says, "Are you real princesses?" And Tara, without missing a beat, looks at her and says, "Yes, today we are." And this little girl just starts beaming. And her dad whispers to her, he's like, "See, I told you." And it was so stinking adorable. So this became a thing. We actually, girls' night outs, birthdays, whatever it is, we would wear our tiaras. And we actually forgot it on our birthday cruise, which I'm not entirely sure how we did manage that. But this kind of became a thing, and we would wear them out. And guys, husbands would look at us and go, "Oh my word, what is wrong with these ladies?" And the women would look at us and just laugh, shake their head, whatever. But no fail, we would always have some woman that would come up to us and be like, "Oh my word, that is so cute." Like, we didn't care if we looked silly. We didn't care if we looked immature. That wasn't the point. The point is that we were having fun. We were having fun and we were making memories and we were happy. That's what was important. It's not about where you are, what you're doing. It's about who you're with and the memories you're making. So just like that little girl, she's with her dad. She will forever believe that she met real princesses at that cafe that day. And so after that, we just could not wear the tiaras. So I even had in my phone for a time, do you know how in your iPhone you can change the voice of Siri? Like, you can change it. I don't even know how many different ones there are now. There used to be 2. Well, there used to be 1. There used to be no Siri. And I changed it to a female British voice. And in my phone, under Tara's name, it was T-ARA. Because when Siri would talk to me, I would say, "Call Tara." And it would do, "Calling Tiara." It couldn't help it. So that was our thing for forever. At one point, she found these really cute little pink sparkly tiara earrings. So how can you not? And I had found this tiara ring. So we always had tiaras of some point, some sort with us the majority of the time. But that is my story. And I have so many more stories. So, friend, I love you. And I hope you love these stories as much as I do. I have found so many in my phone. So many in my phone. And I just think it's time that others know these stories and the good times that we have shared as well. So, till next time.